As the years go on and time passes us by, life really starts to settle itself, doesn't it? We start to see our position in life and that dream of becoming a multi-millionaire or the dream of having a good girl or the dream of even having peace. It seems to just dwindle and fade away into the distance. And it gets worse every year you grow older. You know, the isolation, the feeling of having negative thoughts that revolve around your mind, and all other sorts of things that go on that make it so your mind is negative. Guys like us, it seems that the world has it out for us. It honestly does. Like certain situations in your life, they seem so well coordinated. They seem so well orchestrated, and they seem to always want to put you in your place. I noticed that this whole world loves to believe in lies. I noticed that people love deception and people do not like the truth. When somebody around you is, let's say you have a family member and that person is extremely, you know, jealous of you, or just that this person has it out for you, right? And when you ask that person, hey man, you got a problem with me? Oh no, I don't got a problem with you. No, no, I got a problem with you. They lie to your face, but their actions say otherwise. You know, I can't stand people like that. Just be real with me. Keep it 100. Just tell me what's up. You know. And for guys like us, we always notice that there's always social hierarchies at place in life. Whenever you enter a friend group, whenever you get into some type of social interaction or situation, there's always these invisible hierarchies that are taking place, and the ranks are based on people's money. Usually the person with the most money, who has the highest title job, that person usually is the leader of the hierarchy, and then everybody else falls in line in subordinate positions within the hierarchy, and it's due to the money that people make, right? And for guys like us, life is extremely hard. It's hard for us to even focus. It's hard for us to even think. It's hard for us to even play video games nowadays. And hell, thanks to, the New World Order, like, of course they want to put it on Sony and say, yeah, Sony's the one that are taking away physical discs. It's like, no, there's Freemasonry, there's Illuminati, there's all secret societies that a lot of these, that own these companies. And there's a New World Order integration being implemented. And there's a fomentation of the New World Order integration. So basically, the first step is like, okay, let's go with PlayStation and let's take away everybody's disc. Then the next thing you know, you don't own the game, you don't own the consoles, and then they're going to have something else. Maybe, okay, now you need a biometric scan to enter the hospitals now. And don't say they can't do that, because we all know what happened in 2020 and what they were forcing people, uh, yeah, we all know what happened. So a mandatory biometric systems check to enter a hospital could be mandatory, you know. And in case of emergencies, they'll still have to do some type of other biometric system or something to rush people in there. But if they can ease little stuff like that in, where you own nothing, then imagine what else they will start doing. All of a sudden, your car. Oh, I paid for this car. Actually, the Ford company says that you paid 100 grand for this Ford F1 250 or 350, whatever. You paid 150,000, whatever, how much they cost, right? You pay 100 grand, 80 grand, 50 grand for this car, and you don't really own it. You just bought the rights to rent it, and we can take away your car any day, anytime. Do you see what this is leading up to? What PlayStation has done, or is taking the blame from, but really we already know who's really behind it. The shekel shall not fall far beyond the purse, right? We know who's doing it. It's the greatest ally. You control the music industry, you control the video game industry, you control OnlyFans, you control all these different industries, and you implement and integrate your systems of dominance and prominence over the people. Like, don't think that people don't know. I see it, Illuminati. Don't think that I don't see your evil and wickedness. taking away people's ability to have physical video games. And then a lot of people are going to let it slide because, oh, it's just a video game. It's not nothing serious. Then the next thing you know, they enter the grocery store and you have a biometric scan. You know what I mean? Every time you got to press your thumb somewhere, just enter the grocery store, you know? And then at any time, if they don't like anything about you, then they can just ban you. So when you go to the store, biometric scan denied, unauthorized access, security personnel come, you know, and then boom. You know, do you see where this is going? That's why it's deep. And for guys like us, man, the world is just getting more brutal and more just insane. So we got to really stick to ourselves. We got to really, really, really find a way to get rich, guys. Do you hear me? Listen, you have to find a way to get rich. Don't you dare just settle at your 9 to 5 right now. I don't care if you don't have no damn talents. I've seen plenty of kids that don't have talent, but they're running these AI YouTube channels. I seen this one guy. He's from India, and he was running he had 11 different YouTube channels. So I'm like, I don't even know how you even do that, because when you get monetized, I'm not gonna even go through that process. I don't want to talk about that. But yeah, I don't know how he has 11 different addresses or whatever, because it's crazy. But anyway, enough of that. So he was able to make 30 grand a month. And he even said it himself. He's not the smartest. He's not the wisest, none of that. Right. But, he's able to make that, $30,000, have different channels. And, so it's like, maybe you got to think outside the box to get rich. That's what I'm trying to emphasize. Maybe you have to think outside the box. And yes, not all of us are going to be rich. But what was 50 Cent's first album? Get rich or what trying, right? Yeah. So we got to find a way to do what we love for a living. We got to find a way to fight back against the demiurge. The demiurge gets on my nerves. Like, the demiurge has tormented us for a long time. This God has caused us a lot of pain and a lot of agony, and he has. This God knows he has full control over our lives. And the reason why bad things happen is because he allows them to happen. He implements them to happen. He directs them to happen. He makes it happen on purpose so we can produce negative energetic manifestational frequency, the loosh. That's why this God, acts the way it acts, does the way it does, does the things that it does. It's a jealous God. He said it himself. I am a jealous God. Jealous. Now, I know a lot of people may not believe in gods and ghosts and demons and narcissism. They think it's just whatever. But I'll say this. Would you go to a haunted house by yourself then? A lot of people say they don't believe in gods. They don't believe in that. All right, go to this haunted place by yourself then. Whistle 3 times when it's 3:30 in the morning, right? Stare into the mirror and say the Bloody Mary thing. I did that before and nothing happened. Of course, because you did the summoning wrong. Because it's not just that. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, so, I really think about it, yeah? This world didn't just spawn because it was random. We know that randomness is chaos, so there would never be a stabilization or a fermentation or a formulation of creation if it wasn't for somebody thinking this in. Not saying that the person that created this is good. The God that created this world is the demiurge, according to the Gnostic texts, which say the demiurge came into existence because the Aeon Sophia decided to create without her syzygy, which you're not supposed to do in the pleroma. She created a being that was a monstrosity because she broke the spiritual protocols. And this is the God of the Bible. The God of the Bible broke free, stole some of her light, even trapped her down and imprisoned some of her, and then started creating his heavens and realms and worlds. But this guy looked up, seen divinity. He's seen the glimpses of the pleroma. He's seen the human form, the human body. He's seen it, copied it. But he couldn't put the soul inside of the human body, according to the Gnostic texts. So Sophia secretly breathed the breath of life into people. I know this sounds all mystical and whatever. I know it sounds crazy. Like, come on, I'm an analytical man. I wouldn't tell you guys here if I truly didn't really believe it to the fullest. But I had to analyze this, and I live it. And the reason why, what makes me, let's say none of that's true. Let's say that was just made up baloney, right? And let's say the Gnostic text, that's just like, I got to play the devil's advocate because a lot of people don't believe just right off the bat, right? But let me give you some real ish that you can't deny. Look what goes on in your life. Look how your pain is customized. Look how the things that really, 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 really get on your nerves or piss you off, or the things that people do to you, the events you get into. The situations you get into that you think this is just impossible. Why is this happening? Like all the stars had to align to make this wicked thing happen, and it happened. You know, you notice that you're at your job and you can never catch a break. You know, you work every day, you go to church every Sunday, you pay your tithes, you pay your bills, you do all this, and you still trapped. Meanwhile, somebody like David Dobrik just throw up a Baphomet sign, and this guy, and now he got $30-40 million in a year. You see what I'm saying? What I'm saying is evil governs this realm. And the God, they lie to you about the God of the Bible because most people don't read their Bibles. Most people don't read their Bibles. I've read the Bible 3-4 times from front to back, right? And I say 3 or 4 because there was one time, where I pretty much just read like some of my main favorite little chapters that, like not the boring ones where they sit there and name bloodlines and all that, but like the ones that actually had action and stuff. And, but anyway, I read the Bible, and I read the Apocrypha and all the little secret books around the Bible as well. I know my Bible, man. So nobody's trying to tell me, oh man, you got it wrong. I didn't I didn't. I know what I'm talking about. And if you read the Bible, you can see the God of that Bible is a murderer and a marauder and a thug and a deviant and a miscreant and somebody that is evil and wicked. I'm not no Satanist. No, I don't believe in nothing evil because look, how can you get mad at somebody that believes in the devil, but yet you believe in the devil's father? Who is the father of Satan? You pray, there's people that pray to Satan, fine. But there's people that also pray to the father of Satan, which is the God of the Bible. And the God of the Bible has destroyed more cities and civilizations, took more lives than Satan has ever done, can ever do. Because the God of the Bible is way more powerful than his son. Then you hear about the dragon bloodlines, the snake bloodlines, the reptilian bloodlines. Then you hear the different species and variations. People may think that I'm crazy if they haven't done their research. The world is not ran by humans, which is why you see everything that's detrimental to human growth and progression. You see the rise in inflation. You see it's almost impossible to get a house. You see how they're attacking the youth. They're purposely integrating programs that are to destroy and distract the attention of the youth. They made the proliferation of social media, which produces more loose energy. You know how many stories I've heard over the years of people that committed Japanese honorable neutralization. They committed Japanese honorable neutralization, and it was because of social media. It was because of like what they seen on social media. People having cars, people having girls, people having, this, that, and this, maybe, and you don't think that's deliberate? The whole goal of the system is torment and torture. So everything they give us is to torment and torture us. They may give you some McDonald's. This McDonald's is good, even though I can't even eat McDonald's like that no more. You know what I mean? Like maybe a Big Mac or a quarter pounder, but back in the days, McDonald's used to be fire, but now they got so many chemicals in it, but it's good, right? It's good for the moment. But at the same time, it's like, it's not the same taste as it was back in the days. It's more of a chemical taste now. Then eventually that's going to cause cancer. So they're poisoning us in all directions. They're poisoning us with economic destabilization. They're poisoning us and taking away our video games, taking away our fun. So imagine this. You're having a bad day. You're going through it. You get you a PlayStation. I don't know why you would mess with PlayStation now. It's all digital. You get digital games. And then let's say one day you're just minding your business and you play Call of Duty. And maybe you're going through maybe you went on Instagram and the girl that you liked, she had a boyfriend or something like that. And now you feel bad, and you're like, damn. And now you feel some type of way. So you hop on Call of Duty and your team sucks. And then you say something bad in Call of Duty, and now your account gets banned. So when your account gets banned, all your digital video games also get banned. You can't get your account back, and those video games are linked to your account and they're digital. Meaning if you spent thousands of dollars on video games, you just lost it all in an instantaneously. How is that good for the people? Do you know how many people are going to lose their accounts when the PlayStation comes out? And then Sony's going to be like, oh, well, just buy another system or buy another whatever, and just buy your games again. That's such bull crap. That pisses me off so much, right? But that's the future, that's the future. And this You know, this this dimension, it has an obsession with control. It has an obsession with wanting to feel powerful over somebody. You ever notice that all the events, a lot of events in your life happen because somebody wanted to feel powerful over you. Somebody wanted to feel like they could control you. They wanted to feel like they can do something to you, that they can do something powerful towards you because they feel powerless in their own lives. So they did something negative towards you in order for them to get some type of self-esteem or self-confidence. You know, they found somebody they thought they can attack, somebody they think is interesting, but in a negative way. And then now they wanted some type of control, right? That's how this world is. You know, you go to work every day because if you don't, you're fired. You got to take crap from your boss who talking to you crazy. Especially it's bad. It's either this: your boss is either older than you or they're younger than you. And if they're older than you, they really have no mercy or sympathy. And if they're younger than you and they're kind of an arrogant ass, then they're able to bully you around a bit. And they're younger than you unless you don't take that. But there's always something in your life, whether you see somebody with like a girlfriend and you don't have a girlfriend, so you feel less. You don't feel as confident. You don't feel as powerful. You know, and all the things that we've been through in life, from being grown men, still getting yelled at by your mama, still getting kicked out, or still going, you know what I mean, or whatever you're going through. People tell me their stories. Like people, email me and tell me their story. I got some people I don't know if they want me to tell them. I got some people that are older and they still live with their family, right? And it's hell. You know, it's hell. Especially if you're in your 40s or even 50s, and that's brutal. But in Japan, it's pretty common. Japan, there's a lot of guys between 50 to 60 years old that never left the nest, and you got to think why. What is the psychological ramifications of living a life that you never lived? Living your life, and all those 30 years, 20 years, 40 years go by, and the only thing you did was just stay in the room. You never got a good career. You never had a family. You never went on a date. You never did this. You never did that. What does that do to the mind? And what does it do to the functionality of the mind? You know, it absolutely lowers your confidence. It absolutely makes you feel like you're not in control. And do you see how the system is? Do you see how the system is designed to make you feel small and to feel like you're powerless? Do you see like the system is designed to always feel like it's in control of you, like it's a boss of you, like it gets a kick out of trying to control you? That's the system. That's the archonic system. You know, you got grown ass people that can't even do what they want because they don't have enough money to move out and get their own place somewhere, or they don't have anybody. They don't have any family, at all. And plus, guys like us know how it feels like to always like a girl, and yet this girl doesn't want nothing to do with us, right? I wonder if I got any girls listening to me. I probably do, but they probably don't comment because they already know what it is, because it'll be, it's like, um, like a lot of some people that are BP'd, they'll say one thing about females, but when there's a girl right in front of them and an opportunity, they'll jump on it like a shark going after, and after some meat in the ocean, bro. It's ridiculous. So it's like, I understand. But on my old channel, I definitely did. And I think I've seen some on this channel, actually, but to the females listening, wouldn't you want a guy who's successful, young, handsome, right? Your type, which is probably Chad or Tyrone, but you know what I mean. But wouldn't you want somebody who you can bring back to your family and they're like, oh wow, this is a keeper, Instead of having somebody like us, you got your failed rappers, your failed basketball players, your failed football players, your failed poets, your failed music producers, your failed artists, your failed novelists, just failures, right? A lot of us, we really are the people that understand society the best, because we understand how people treat us when we failed, when we didn't have success. We see how people really feel about us. Make no mistake, when you don't have a dollar to your name or a penny in your brain or anything, people are going to treat you how they really feel about you when you don't got no money. So if somebody treats you bad when you don't have a dollar to your name, and that's how they really feel about you. Remember that. Never forget it, young men. Listen to me carefully. I'll say it again. When you don't have anything and somebody's treating you nice or somebody's treating you mean, that's what they truly mean. So if somebody shows you love and respect when you ain't got no money and and hell they may not have money themselves, but they're giving you some money, and over a few months they done gave you like $500, $400. You know, that's somebody that's a real one. That's somebody that when you get rich and you get successful, you pay that person back, but you don't say anything. That's something that you don't. I'm gonna pay you back. You don't say anything. Wait till you get the money, boom, then give it to them. Right? Right? That's real. So that's why it's no. Hey, I'm gonna pay you on 2 weeks from now. No, it's none of that. It's just boom. Here's a surprise. Bow. All that bread you know, that you lent me here, I pay you back once I make it. And vice versa. When you're broke and you don't have anything and somebody disrespects you, they treat you like crap, they do all these evil things towards you. That's how they truly feel about you. And when somebody shows you their horns, when somebody shows you their fangs, when somebody shows you their veins, you better believe them, young men. You better believe them. It would be unwise to turn your back on a viper or a shadow sniper. Always be perceptive. Understand that this life is a war. It's a battlefield and it's merciless and it's ridiculous, but it's what we're forced to be in. It's what we're trapped into. So many years of quote unquote human evolution or whatever they want to say. And yet people can still catch an illness. You can still get sick tomorrow and you can still, pass away with some type of rare brain cancer or something like what happened with Terrence McKenna. Rest in peace to Terrence McKenna, even though I believe the Central Intelligence Agency had something to do with that. But I won't go into those details now. I'm not going to go on that. But let's just say this. It's like, if you look at what happened to Bob Marley, and how that whole situation unfolded, and for those who know, do I got anybody in here who watches Mag Bitter Truth? I don't know if you guys know who that is, but shout out to the Mag, man. I remember Mag commented on my last channel one time. I was like, wow, Mag knows who I am. That's cool. Shout out to Mag Bitter Truth, man. Mag's funny, though. That's the homie, though. Now, for guys like us, man, where do we find ourselves in this world, man? Like, honestly, like, you wake up, go to the 9 to 5, come back, play your video game, and you feel empty. Like, where's your pleasure in life? Where's your fucking yacht? Where's your fucking, where's your trip to the Maldives? Where's your girlfriend with the nice arse? Come on. I want a girlfriend with a nice fat arse. You know what I mean? I said it. Shit. I'm going to hit it from the back and make that nana smack. You know what I mean? For real, man. Being broke and having ambition, and you don't have really no way to actually make your ambition, work because you have work, it's brutal. Because, like, let's say you want to, I don't know, do something creative, work on a business or something, work on a side hustle, work on something that can generate you money, wealth, and influence, And you can't because you have 2 or 3 jobs to go to. And these jobs, they're going to take your priority. Number one, they're going to take your prioritization as they should, because that's what's going to be most important. And at the end of the day is those 9 to 5s, because those 9 to 5s is what keep us alive. But those 9 to 5s, that's not what our soul thrives. Our soul doesn't thrive off a 9 to 5, but our soul survives off a 9 to 5 as it's getting eaten alive. You see? Man. I was watching, well, I was also making a secret, but because I'm gonna start doing history videos on this channel, and I was working on a video, or thinking about making a video on King Henry VIII. Like I kind of want to mix up the variety on this channel, do like history documentaries, and talk about like spooky stuff, and kind of want to just switch it up, and just talk about, like, just expand the content, right? because there's a lot of stuff I'm interested in, but I don't know if you guys want to hear it. That's the thing. I don't know if you guys want to hear me. According to the watch time, people watch on average about 15 to 20 minutes. Like that's unheard of. Like from what I was hearing, I'm like, damn, people really listen to me speak. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. I hope they listen to me rap too. You know what I mean? Like, I got. Come on, I write books, I make beats, I do poetry. I'm on video games too. Shit, you know what I mean? I got it all, man. What you need, I got you. You know, you know. I remember this one girl I liked, and it was senior year high school. I'm not gonna use names, and I'm not gonna use names, because I'm not gonna use names. But senior year in high school, there was a girl I liked, and we would and we would talk, but there was like because we were like in this friend group, but actually it was like three friend groups that came into one because of this one popular girl. And she like invited all the friends. Like she was so popular that she pretty much can get different friend groups to just form one friend group. Like she's one of those popular girls. And like she was a cheerleader, and her sister was on the volleyball team. So, there were some pretty girls. But I was talking to this one girl, and we would just talk, and, she was pretty cool. But not talk like that. Like I was trying to like make her my girlfriend. Just talk about stuff. Talk about video games. We were talking about anime a little bit at the time. Um, I remember when what was I think is that what was it when Floyd Mayweather fought? I forgot which one, but anyway, yeah. So I was talking to this girl, whatever, right? And there was this one person in the friend group as well, and he would always notice. And every time I would talk to her for like longer than 5 minutes, he would like come over there and just enter the conversation. I was like, and at first, it's whatever, but I'm like, hey, bro, like, are you doing this on purpose? Like in the back of my head, because I didn't want to confront him because this wasn't my girl or anything. It was just some girl that I thought, we just started talking, you know, because like it was like a few months before that, it was like a Friday, and like I remember it was three different friend groups, right? So like I had one over there, and also this girl was in my, and it's this girl. She used to be in one of my classes, but she got taken out to another one, transfer or whatever. So I seen her before, but but she never really seen me in like my football jersey, right? You know, or because school's pretty big. So anyway, the friend groups converge, and then I remember she seen me. She's like, oh, is your name? Woo woo. I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, she's like, I didn't know you were a football player because it was because every Friday for our game days, like we would have to wear our jerseys to school, right? And yeah, so so since we kind of just started talking, and catch up a bit. But this one person, he was kind of like watching and just being jealous, and every time we would talk, he would try to go in there and stop it. And then I started to know she started getting more irritated. But long story short, the reason why I brought this up was long story short, he ended up going to prom with her. And I never ended up going to prom because I was so hurt by that and backstabbed by that. Because I was going to ask her out to prom. And this guy knew that, right? I remember I was a different person then. Remember, I was a high school football player, and yeah, I'm thinking about it now, and I felt a little bit of anger come up, But yeah, so he pretty much went to prom with her, you know. And I remember when I tried to ask her, she was like, "Oh, what's the name?" Well, he asked me first. You should have asked me. I remember you should have asked me, and that broke me down, right? I don't think you guys ever seen my football pictures. I think I showed it on my last channel, but I don't know. Now it's just a bunch of, you know. But yeah, man, it's crazy how the demiurge will do certain things in your life and just mess it up for you and make sure that you fail or make sure that you go through a certain hell or make sure that you don't have that confidence that you need to take on this world. Like guys like us, we need to have confidence and belief in ourselves. But the problem is, where do you get that from when you don't have nothing to be confident about? And when everybody around you reminds you of it, they tell you that you're a loser. They call you a loser. They talk behind your back you know you're a great person and not a loser when you got people talking about you who don't even know you, and you got people talking about you and focusing their attention on you, who these people would never even known you if you didn't upload. If you would have never made a channel and crossed these people in the streets, they wouldn't even look your way. They'll be polite. Hello, excuse me. They'll be polite like that. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be like that. They wouldn't even, you know. And when you got people in your family too who always gossip about you, they're always talking about you with their friends. They're always talking about you, or they're always talking about some type of gossip. Like a female. That's what females do. It's not really masculine for a male to sit there and talk about other males, or to sit there and just talk up and gossip about other grown men. That's not a masculine trait. That's a feminine trait, right? A masculine trait is minding your own business and, holding it down and doing your thing. That's masculine. A feminine trait is trying to get involved with everybody else's business. Or what he's doing. Oh, he don't got a job yet. What is he doing over here? That's female behavior. Why you care what another grown man is doing with their life? You know what I mean? Why do you care if it doesn't really affect you? And you're on the internet, It's crazy. It's like, do you understand how crazy this world is if you really think about it? If you truly think about it, we live in some hellish, crazy prison, man. This world is truly something that I find disturbing, like being on an alien planet. I don't know how I found myself in a world which is meant to torture you. You had some 9 to 5 somewhere, you're working your ass off, and what, you gonna get paid, what, $400 in 2 weeks, or $800, or what, $1,200 in 2 weeks, or something like that, or maybe $1,200 a month. And you may think that's a lot of money. It's like, bro, you're a grown man. You know what I mean? Grown men have grown men bills. You know what I mean? Like, you're a grown man. Well, I feel like, I'm not gonna feel happy in life until I'm making at least 5,000 or 10,000 a month. If that never happens, it never does. But if I can build myself up to 5 to 10 grand, I'll be happy. But the problem is, money is so hard to get, but it's so easy to lose. And that's with anything in life. Like, it takes 9 months for a baby to be born, and yet even through that process, even before the baby can leave the womb, some bad things can happen. And even after the baby leaves the womb, the baby has to survive the first year, second year, third year. The baby can survive to 15 years, 21 years, hell, 30 years, 45 years. And within that time, it can pass away any second. It doesn't take 9 months to pass away, but it takes 9 months for conception. It takes 9 months for creation, but it doesn't take 9 months for you to pass away. You can pass away in seconds, milliseconds. What does that tell you about this world? That this world is not made to last. The demiurge runs this world. This is what I'm saying, that this proves Gnosticism. This is exactly what the Gnostics said. This world is a temporary illusion, a temporary fragment of evil, of wickedness and sedition. It wasn't created to last, because the demiurge can't create anything to last. The only thing he creates, his heavens and everything will fall. Now, according to a human lifespan, it seems like forever, but to like a God's lifespan, which is infinite, it's but a blimp in the time of eternity.